Good morning class, I am Govind Vyas from Cambridge Convent School, Bikaner. As you know, in a previous lecture, so far we have conducted 8 lectures, in them we have studied so many things. Today in our 9th lecture, we shall discuss about the remaining types of power plants. 3 power plants have been discussed in the previous lecture, lecture number 8. Today, we shall complete this topic, power plants. These 3 will be discussed in today's lecture, okay. The first one is hydroelectric power plant. What is hydroelectric power plant? What do you mean by hydro? It means, in science, hydro means related to water, regarding water. So, the electricity is generated by means of flowing of water. Clear? So, I am just explaining you a basic understanding about this. What happens in a hydroelectric power plant? See, a dam is constructed, a big dam. Now, what is the dam? Dam is basically a wall which is thin at the top and thicker and then increasing manner in the downward, a wall, a tapered wall. The upper side of the wall is is not that much thick, but the lower side is continued tapering. It goes thicker and thicker. Clear? This is a wall. This wall is known as dam. Clear? And a huge amount of water is stopped by this dam, a huge amount of water. The dams are basically constructed in the midway of the flowing water. Clear? Lots of water is stopped at some height. This dam is situated always on some height. Remember this. Okay. So, due to this large amount of water was flowing and suddenly a dam was constructed in between. So, we stored this flowing water's energy, and because this flowing water is at some height, so this energy is basically known as potential energy, because we have already studied that the energy possessed by any object at some height is a potential energy. You just imagine that lots of water is restrained at some height. So, this lots of water must possess a lots of millions of types of energies, right? Okay. So, this water is stopped with the help of a dam. And why is the dam is constructed like this structure, thinner at the top and thicker at the down? Because you must know that the liquid always apply more pressure at the downward. At this place the pressure will be high, and at this place the pressure will be low. So, this place has to bear a lots of pressure. So, this at this particular depth the dam is made very thicker so that it can sustain the more pressure. Clear? Okay. Now, what happens? This dam was situated at some height, right? Okay. Now, when we have to produce electricity, what does we do? We allow the path to move this water, to flow this water downward, and this water goes downward with the passage provided. Fine. With the pipes, with the tunnels, with the gates, or whatever we can say, the water goes downward. Clear? Okay. Now understand this. In conservation of energy, I told you that we cannot create energy, we can just convert the form of energy, just transfer the form of energy. There was a lots of potential energy right here. Clear? And when we provide the path to the water, it starts with to move with the high velocity. There it was at height, so potential energy was there. Now this water is moving, so it is possessing the kinetic energy, lots of kinetic energy. Lots of potential energy is being converted into lots of kinetic energy, right? This water is moving with a huge velocity. It is going downward. Clear? And what does we do? We will utilize this kinetic energy. We will use the strength of moving water. What will we do? Here, I am just giving you a basic idea how the energy is produced. Here we construct a powerhouse. What is the powerhouse? Basically, it contains generator or turbine like arrangement, and this is the wheel where lots of rotors are there. Lots of rotors are there. When this flowing water comes in contact with this rotor, it will rotate it. Clear? It will rotate this. Basically, it is a turbine. When this the high kinetic energy possessing water will touch the turbine. What will happen? The turbine will rotate, and when the turbine rotates, it is possessing kinetic energy. The kinetic energy of the water is transferred to the turbine. The turbine will rotate, and what will happen? Turbine is somewhere here is connected with the generator. When the turbine rotates, generator also rotates. And what happens when the generator rotates? When the generator rotates, electricity is produced. So think what just happened here. There was lots of potential energy because the water is stopped at some height. When the water is provided a path, the water starts moving downward, down the hill. This potential energy is converted into kinetic energy. Now what? The kinetic energy of water is used to rotate the turbine. Now this kinetic energy is transferred to kinetic energy of turbine. Then the generator rotates, the kinetic energy is transferred to the generator, and when the generator rotates, electricity is produced. The kinetic energy is then converted into electrical energy. Clear? I hope it is clear to you. So this is the basic structure which can be said to be of a hydroelectric power plant. Hydro means water, electric is electricity. Electricity is generated by means of flowing water. Clear? So this can be understood as the basic structure of a hydroelectric power plant. Now next, wind power plant. I am just giving you a basic idea about this. Clear? Because that is what it is on its syllabus. Fine. So next is wind power plant. Now what about wind power plant? See its basic structure. This is the ground of the earth. This is the foundation, and it can be said with the basic arrangement. All arrangements are here. The fans or rotor of the windmill, gearbox, turbine, gearbox, etc. Generator, turbine, gearbox, and here is generator. Okay, this is the rotor. Okay, now understand this. This structure, this single structure is known as windmill. This structure is known as windmill. First you must understand this, that this is a renewable source of energy, because wind is never going to be end, so we can again and again produce energy by this wind power plant. Fine. This single structure is known as windmill. These types of lots of windmills, in many numbers of windmills are installed at that place where in the annual manner, in the whole the year, wind flows with an appropriate velocity. Okay, only one windmill installation is not always justified, because only this single windmill cannot produce a large amount of energy. So lots of windmills are installed at a particular distance. So small energy obtained from one, small obtained from another, small obtained from third, and now so on. Lots of small energy will be produced by lots of windmills. Okay, then counting them together, there will be a large amount of energy. Fine. Okay, so windmills are basically installed at those places where wind flows at an appropriate speed. Okay, so what will happen when the wind strike to this particular fan, this rotor? When wind strike to this, what will happen? It will start rotating. it will start rotating, and due to this its rotation, the turbine will rotate. Okay, this energy will go to turbine, turbine will also rotate, fine. And same for the gearbox, gearbox will rotate. What is the role of gearbox? I will explain you. Turbine will rotate, so for gearbox, and then generator, and when the generator rotates, you know, electricity is produced, and this electricity is then utilized in many places. Okay, now what is the role of gearbox here? Okay, see, you must have seen a rotor of a windmill or a fan of windmill being rotated. You have seen that it always rotates in very small velocity. Its rotation is not that much large, you know, because if it rotates in very fast, what will happen? It can damage the structure because the size of the fan is very big. If it will rotate very fast, what will happen? The whole structure may gets vibrations and then gets damaged. So the fans always rotate in very low velocity, but we require higher revolutions, higher rotations at the generator, so a gearbox is introduced in between. What will happen? What does a gearbox do? It converts the small rotations into large rotations. Suppose it is rotating only at a speed of 10 rotations per minute, but here we can obtain more. Clear? That is why gearbox is used here. So this is about the wind power plant. The kinetic energy of the wind is used to rotate the rotor or the fan. This rotation is then transferred to generator and gearbox, and when the turbine and gearbox, and when the turbine rotates, a generator is attached to it, then the generator will also rotate, and when the generator rotates, electricity is produced. So at the input, the kinetic energy of wind was introduced, and at the output, the electricity is produced. This is all about the wind power plant. Okay, this produced it doesn't produce any kind of pollution which other power plant does. Okay, so this was about the wind power plant. Now last power plant is solar photovoltaic power plant. Okay, what about solar photovoltaic power plant? See, in chemistry, you must have studied that in our periodic table there are lots of elements are there, right? So there are some certain types of elements in our periodic table known as semiconductors. What are semiconductors? Okay, let me tell you. So there are some of the elements which normally works as insulator or bad conductor. I will say bad conductor is the good word for it. So basic in ordinary condition, they work as a bad conductor of electricity, but if they are heated, if the temperature of the air is increased, then what will happen? They will work as a good conductor. They will work as a good conductor. So these types of elements are known as, which are available in our periodic table, those are known as semiconductors. What are those? Some of the examples are silicon, germanium, etc. Lots of are there also. So, but silicon and germanium are quite familiar and famous names. So, what about these? What happens with them? Okay, get this. This is a panel I have made. What about this? The semiconductors like silicon, germanium and other semiconductors also, their chips are made. What kind of chips you have? You have seen the mobile SIM card. That is a very small thing. There are some metal chips on that. So those kind of small slots are known as chips. Clear? So semiconductor chips are prepared. Okay, and these chips are installed at this particular plate. So by the sum of these chips, a small slot is prepared. This small slot is known as cell. Clear? Suppose that I am having a very small chip, and after arranging the small chips very near to each other, I have made a small slot like this. This is known as cell. So this is the one cell, and many of the, and when similar kinds of cells, these kinds of cells are placed on a big plate, this is one cell, another, this is one cell, this is one cell, and lots of cells together when placed on a plate, this is known as panel, solar panel. You must have seen solar panels installed on the rooftop of some of the houses, buildings, etc., right? Okay. So firstly there is a small chip. After putting lots of chips together we get a cell, and after putting lots of cell together we get a panel, that is known as solar panel. On this solar panel lots of semiconductor chips are available, right? What about these? When these are kept at the place where sunlight falls easily, sunlight will fall on these solar panels. What happens when sunlight falls on these? Their temperature will increase, right? So whenever sunlight falls on any object, it heats them up, right? Their temperature will increase, and because these are the semiconductors, these are the semiconductor panels, so what will happen? They will work as good conductor, they will get charged, and then electricity will flow inside them, right? That is what it will happen. And what will happen next? Wires are connected with them, and those wires are directly either supplied with the inverter, etc., or direct with the some of the appliances. And when electricity flows in those wires, firstly electricity will flow inside this panel, and through those wires the electricity will go in the inverter, and inverter will be charged, and later on we can use that stored electricity. Or what can we do? The panels are directly connected with the wires through to the fans, televisions or bulbs, etc., small voltage appliances mainly. So here electricity is generated, and that is directly utilized in the house appliances, right? There are some disadvantages and some advantages also of this kind of power plants, that these solar panels does not have that much strength that we were talking about coal power plant or hydro power plant, etc. They have very least strength. So if we want to use more solar energy, then lots of solar panels are kept parallel to each other at a large area, then they will be able to produce lots of energy, right? And second thing is, when weather is not in favorable condition, because they require lots of solar energy, lots of heat, lots of sunlight, right? When there is the rainy day or sunlight is not available in sufficient amount, they will fail to work. But the most advantage of this is that these are one time investment, not any electricity or that too much maintenance cost, and the biggest thing is they are eco-friendly. They never ever produce any kind of pollution. Okay, so this is about the solar power plant. Fine. Okay, so about our next topics we shall study in the next lecture. Okay, till then you must be at your house, stay home, stay safe. Thank you.